Good afternoon, everybody. It's time for some lunchtime chit chat. And this afternoon, we're going to be discussing what we now know of as far as the State versus Keadle trial for the murder of Tyler, aka Ty Thomas, murder case. We are going to give you guys some updated information. So everybody, please come on in. Make sure you like the video, share the video, and also subscribe to the Hood Table. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, and also then hit the notification bell so that you'll receive all the notifications whenever we go live or do an upload. First off, today actually is Wednesday. Oh God, February 5th. I'm going to trial again tomorrow. I'm going to sit through trial again tomorrow and take some notes. So what we're going over today is the last time I updated you guys was on day 5 of the trial. So we're kind of going to go over like day 6 and day 7. Today is day 8 of the trial. So we're not going to go over any of that anything today. We're going to go over day 6 and 7, and then tomorrow, after I sit through trial, then Friday I will go over days 8 and 9 of the trial. And again, this is for the Tyler Thomas murder, Peru College student who was murdered 10 years ago. And the person that they believe is responsible for the murder is now on trial, and his name is Joshua Keadle. So we are discussing updated information on the Joshua Keadle trial. Now, first off, Monday and Tuesday. Well, Monday, we had heard about, Keadle. Excuse me, Keadle. He was testifying Monday, and from what what was said in court. Now, keep in mind, back when that happened, we have to keep in mind that at first, initially, he had told investigators that he was not with Tyler Thomas that night. He had not seen her out that evening near the water, near Missouri River, and he had also told friends to lie about his whereabouts, to let him use them as an alibi. He had also had another friend. He asked him to hold his gun and hide his gun. His friend said no. At that time, they didn't realize what was going on. They didn't realize that he might have had something to do with the disappearance of Tyler Thomas. But the one who was asked to hold his gun, he was like, "No, I'm not holding your gun." And the other one, again, he asked him to allow him to use him as an alibi and say that he was with them the entire time. So juries heard the other day things Keadle had to say about the initial hours when Peru College State Tyler Thomas went missing. And what he said was, one moment, I'm going to read exactly what it says. Around 1:05 a.m. on December 3rd, Chloe Courtier remembered chit-chatting with a friend in her dorm room at Peru State College early that Friday morning when her phone rang. She saw it was Tyler Thomas and didn't answer. She told investigators later she was done dealing with drunk people. Courtier, then 20 years old, and her friend Jade Gordon. Remember, Jade is Tyler's cousin. Already had taken a drunk cheerleader safely home from a party that night from the baseball house. And around 1:25 a.m., I'm just giving you a little detailed information on the initial time frame when Tyler was missing. Around 1:25 a.m., Thomas texted Courtier and told them that she didn't know where she was. Then Courtier handed her phone to Gordon, which is Jade Gordon, Ty's cousin, and she said, "What the heck is going on?" So they put on their shoes, they grabbed their coats, and they was going to try to find Thomas. But before they could get to the door, remember, less than a minute after seeing the text, there was a knock at the door, and it was Joshua Keadle, the man now on trial for Thomas's murder. And what he had said at that time when he knocked on the door, he was like, "What's up? What's going on?" But they was like, they were kind of, confused. Well, maybe not at that initial time, but when they looked at it later, because they're like, Joshua has never came over looking for anybody, never knocked on their door before, never inquired, about their whereabouts or what they were getting into. And keep in mind that Ty and Joshua Keadle, they didn't get along. They did not get along at all. They had a very strained relationship. Nobody can quite remember when it first started to be that way, but everybody just knows that him and her was like oil and water. They just did not get along. So for him to come and inquire about her and everything around 1:30 in the morning, they was like, what's going on? But he came to the door and he was like, what's cooking? Talking about he smelled something good or something like that. But they weren't cooking. They were actually on their way to go outside and look for Ty. They drove around town, calling Ty over 4 dozen times. And by 5:30 a.m., when she still wasn't found, they kind of like, that's when they started to let the school know, the security guards know. Remember, they stopped the officer. The officer, he drove around looking for her. The next morning, they figured they would, send out a college-wide alert that Ty was missing. So, one second. Let me go down further. All right. Now, Jason Rodriguez, he said he lived at the baseball house, which is a popular hangout spot just off the campus. He said Thomas was pretty intoxicated. Ty, the one that's missing, said she was pretty intoxicated before she got there. And there had been an incident. Remember, we talked the other day. She had got into it with some of her friends, some of her girlfriends, or, roommates, or, the people she hung out with. And about an hour or so later, she went to the baseball house, but she had got drunk. She was intoxicated. They asked her to leave. And then an hour or so later, she was trying to get back in the party. They wouldn't let her. So the last time they saw her, she was seen walking over the hill towards the campus. But when she didn't show up at her dorm, law enforcement started calling people from the baseball house in to give statements. Rodriguez said he and Keadle started talking while they waited in line. Keadle told him he had a gun, and he asked him if he would hold it for him. Rodriguez said no. Steph Secura, of Keadle's roommates that semester, said that when he returned to campus following Monday after spending the weekend in Lincoln, Keadle mentioned that the cops had been asking questions about Thomas, and he said he was with me that night, which caught him off guard. So Secura said he was caught off guard because Keadle told them he was with him that night, but he was not with Secura that night. Secura had actually left for Lincoln that Thursday afternoon. So before the weekend came, when Ty disappeared, Secura had already left for Lincoln that Thursday afternoon. Secura later told investigators that Keadle had told him to say he was with him. So he tried to use the man as an alibi before the man even knew he used him as an alibi. But now he claims, when he's at court, he don't recall this, but he said, whatever I said at that time when Tyler was missing, when they did the initial investigation, he said, whatever I said back then was true. He said, it's been 10 years. I can't remember exactly the details of everything I said, but whatever I said back then was true, and he was not with me. I did leave Thursday to go to Lincoln, and Keadle tried to use him for an alibi. But it's been a very long time. A lot of the people, when I was sitting watching the witnesses, witness after witness after witnesses in the courtroom, it's been 10 years. And that's probably the worst thing about this case, is any case, is when it's so many years have passed and you're trying to get to court. And then it's finally time to come to court. And it's like a lot of things that people remembered vividly and clearly around the time of an incident, and maybe even a few years later, after 10 years, a lot of them, when I was in court last Friday and watching the testimonies, they were like, could you please show me, or the prosecutor or defense attorney was like, could we show you what you said? Because it's been 10 years. But in this case, this guy, he definitely said what Seth said. Whatever I said about Keadle and me not being with him not being with me during that time was true at the time that I had mentioned that 10 years ago. So it's a lot of things that's adding up and coming to light now that we weren't privy to 10 years ago. The only thing we were really privy to 10 years ago was the fact that Keadle had lied and said he wasn't with her at the water at Missouri River the night that she went missing. And then, a few days later, he confessed to the investigators, yes, I was with her. I offered to take her back to Omaha. I offered to do this for his change of sex. Then after sex, she got upset. She got mad. We started fighting. And he said, I left her. He just abandoned her and left her at the Missouri River by herself. That's what he claims. That's what he claims. So now we're hearing where he had a gun. He owned a gun at that time in college. Like, first of all, what are you doing with a gun in college? In college, on campus, why do you got a gun? He asked somebody to hold his gun. That person said no. He asked another roommate to let him use him as an alibi. That person told the investigators, we weren't together. I left Thursday. Miss Tyler Thomas, she disappeared Friday into Saturday night. So his alibi was already miles and miles away in a whole nother city. So again, a lot of things that we weren't privy to back then, we are now privy to now. What I'm going to go ahead and do right now is go to my other screen here. Sorry about that. Somebody was trying to get my attention. But anyway, back to the case. Prosecutors, we're going to discuss how they were tracking Keadle days after Thomas's disappearance. This was during day 6 of the Joshua Keadle murder trial. So let's see here. I got like computers everywhere. 1 second. Okay. I'm going to start from the beginning. Okay, so on Tuesday, day 6 of the court trial. Let's see, 5, 6, 7. Was that day 6? I think that was day 6. Okay, yep. So, jurors and the public heard Joshua Keadle, what he has said happened the night of Tyler's disappearance back in December of 2010. Keadle had told investigators about how one day he would be cool with Ty, then the next day they wouldn't talk to him. She wouldn't talk to him. And we had heard by several witnesses how they was like oil and water. They never got along. They was always arguing or fighting. Keadle told investigators he admitted to seeing Ty walking near campus on December 3rd, but he said he stayed in his room for the rest of the night except to run to his car. He said he learned she was missing from her friends in the dorms. He said he thinks she did this at first for attention, but now he can't say. So he's saying that he think Ty went missing or pretended to be missing or pretended to be lost, texting her friends in the middle of the night saying I'm lost to get attention. But now he can't say because of how magnitude and how it's blown up. That's what he said 3 days after Thomas disappeared. When he was asked if Thomas was still alive, he said, yeah, why would I not think that she's alive? But after time passed, Keadle admitted to going to the river to smoke marijuana at about 2 a.m. the night Thomas went missing. He claimed he didn't see her and smoked alone, but investigators didn't buy it. And that was what we were privy to again years ago, was the fact that he lied at first and he wasn't with her that night by the river, and the investigators weren't buying it. So in the same 2010 interview, the investigators asked Keadle, why did his GPS ping down at the river? His response, I have no clue. You're asking me like I picked her up and took her down by the river, me and her. She was not in my car. She's been in my car, but why was she in my car that night? He was like, no, that didn't happen. Later in the interview, that was not played in court, prosecutors say Keadle admitted to Thomas to taking Thomas to the river, but claims he left her there alive in the middle of the night, by the way. There was a lot of information that they found at a later time that would show Mr. Keadle's testimony was evolving, just constantly changing as time went along. And that's, per the State Patrol Lieutenant Monty Lovelace. During the interview, Keadle admitted that he did give Thomas rides before to get food, to like go to the convenience store or go back to the dorms, but didn't feel it necessary to give her a ride when she didn't have a coat the night she was missing. 2 people involved in the search and rescue efforts testified about searching the river and the woods for Thomas. They didn't find her, but they were able to locate tire tracks along the Missouri River banks. Now, the prosecutors, they had said, they had questioned investigators about, because if they have like dogs and, dogs, how they send dogs out to see if they can sniff a scent of somebody who's been missing or assumed dead or lost or whatnot. They were asking them, like, at that time when they were searching for her, is it possible that her scent could have, just vanished into thin air? And they said, well, depends on what the wind, depends on what the climate, it depends on, it's a lot of different things why, dogs couldn't like pick up a sense like that. And another thing could be, she's in the water, which a lot of people do believe that Ty was thrown in the Missouri River after Keadle had sex with her. Believing that it was unwillingly, that she didn't, give it away. I basically give him permission to have sex with her. That's what people are assuming. That's what people believe happened. I believe that happened as well. I believe his story is just BS from the gate, from the jump. I cannot believe it's been 10 years for this trial to get started. Initially when he said they had sex and she got mad afterwards and they started fighting, like, these are 2 people who, the roommates, the people who live in the dorms, who sees them often, have said time and time again, these people do not get along. These 2 clash, they fight. He cusses her out, calls her bitches, and I mean, they call each other names. They do not get along. Like, people like they never have got along. And then all of a sudden one night in the middle of the night, she offers to give you sex for a ride back to Omaha, back to come back to town to Omaha, to, where we live, where her family and friends live, for the weekend. And you offered her a ride in exchange for sex. And she said yes. Somebody who you never got along with at all said, okay, I'm that desperate to go back to Omaha. I'll give you my goodies. And then she got upset afterwards and they started fighting and arguing, and you left her at the Missouri River alive in the middle of the night. Then you told so many different stories, Mr. Keadle, that you weren't there with her, that you didn't see her, that she wasn't in your car, that she do be in your car sometime, but she wasn't in your car that night. Then your phone pinged at that night. They found out that your phone was, in that vicinity in the middle. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did offer her a ride that night, the night she went missing, in exchange for sex. Man, if they do not find him guilty, if they don't find him guilty for this murder, I am just going to be done with the justice system. All my hopes is just going to just go away, vanish with the winds in the justice system. If he gets off with this murder case, I pray that he gets charged, that he gets found guilty, that he gets the maximum time punishable for this crime. Now, we do know, well, some of y'all don't know, but he is right now in prison because of the fact that he, as I told y'all before, he had sexually assaulted a 15-year-old a few years back. So he's been already locked up. He was already locked up when this trial started. He went to jail years after Ty went missing for sexual assault, and then the investigation still went on. Then they charged him while he was already locked up. Then the trial started while he's still in jail for sexual assault on a 15-year-old girl. So he's been locked up this entire time. But we're praying that he remains locked up, and again, that he gets the maximum penalty allowed in the courts of law and gets charged for this murder. Hey, Kimberly Black, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm just giving y'all a little lunch break update on the Joshua Keadle murder trial that's going on here in nearby city of mine in Beatrice, Nebraska is actually where the court trial is taking place. And I'm going to be back down there tomorrow. And we're going to be listening in and taking some more notes and, getting some more information on, the trial and listening to some more witnesses. The trial is said to go 3 weeks, but I've also heard 2 weeks. So this Friday will be officially 2 weeks that the trial has been going on. So depending on these next few days, or depending on, probably how much longer the trial would go. But but anyway, I had stopped, got off track a little bit. But I just wanted to go back to during the interview, Keadle admitted that he did give Thomas rides before to get food, and I told y'all that to go to the convenience store and to the dorms, but he said he didn't give her a ride that night. Again, they saw tire tracks along the banks of the Missouri River, where he claims that he was just out there smoking weed. And then sometime later, a few days later, he admitted that he had took her down to the riverbanks and they had sex. And then he left her there in the middle of the night. So that was the initial hours. That's Joshua Keadle's testimony of what happened. That's his story that he had to say in court about that. But as far as, let me go back over here to my other screen. Okay, did I read everything for you guys? Okay, 2 people involved in the search must testify how the subsequently didn't find it below. Okay. So today, which is day 5, 6, 7, 8. Today is day 8 of the court trial. And what they'll probably discuss today, and I'll find out later, but what they'll probably discuss today, because I'm not going back in until tomorrow, but the tire tracks that they spoke of the other day, the prosecutors will probably go into detail if those tire tracks near the bank was indeed Joshua Keadle's tire tracks, which I'm assuming they were. I'm really assuming they were, because of the fact that he said he was there that night. He had told other people that he was there in the morning. Like when they went to look for Ty in the morning, the very next morning, they found him there again. And they was like, what are you doing at the riverbank? Because the Missouri River, for those of y'all who don't stay anywhere near the Midwest, the Missouri River is usually a place where people only go to fish, to camp, and in the summertime, they go there for like the holidays or something like that. July 4th, set off firecrackers. The Missouri River is not a place. It's not like a lake. It's a humongous river, and it's really, really deep. And in our area where we live in Omaha, I can't swim. So I don't try to ever go anywhere near the Missouri River. As a matter of fact, Iowa, for y'all who don't know, Iowa and Nebraska, downtown Nebraska and Iowa is like separated by the Missouri River. So literally to get to Iowa from our downtown in Omaha, Council Bluffs, Iowa, by the way, all you have to do is basically cross over a bridge which goes over the Missouri River, and you're right smack dab in Iowa. And downtown is probably like 5-10 minutes from me. And so to get to Iowa, to get over that Missouri River, it's probably about no more than 10 minutes to get over. That river is really, really wide. It's really long. And Ty's friends have said before, she never liked to be in the river because she liked to swim. So I don't blame her. We have a Bob Carey bridge that is a walking bridge that you can take to go from downtown Omaha, and you can walk that bridge. It's like a walking trail and everything. It takes you to the Bluffs, to the Council Bluffs Casino. It's really long. We used to walk there in the summertime all the time, and it's quite long to get over that bridge, over that river. And I would darn near panic every time we had to walk over the bridge to get over the Missouri River. It's a really large river. So for her to be there at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning in the dark to have sex with somebody she ever got along with, I don't believe him for 1 second. A lot of people do not believe anything that he has to say, anything that he has said, besides the fact that, you know, he confessed that he was down there with her. That's about it. That's what we believe. We believe that he was there, that he took advantage of her, he sexually assaulted her, and then when she got mad and got angry or tried to fight him off, he probably tossed her in the Missouri River. And as far as the gun that he asked his roommate to hide for him, my beliefs, this is my beliefs, just my belief, and I'm no investigator, I'm no forensics, I'm no, you know, nothing like that, I'm no coroner, anything like that, I'm just me. I believe that all that happened, him taking advantage of her, and then what I believe is he probably threw her in the water and shot her. And that probably explains why they might couldn't find any evidence of him actually shooting her. Because for him to ask one of his roommates to take his gun and hide it moments after Ty went missing, like just out the blue, again, why do you have a gun on campus? I know that's illegal to have firearms on campus. I know that's illegal. So that's what I believe. That's what I believe. And I hope, I hope justice is served. Yes, Kimberly Black, you said it's such a sad story and a shame that it's taken this long for him to come to justice for this particular case. It is. It is really, you know, it's been a long time coming. And the family, again, I want to read what the family had to say. Let me go to her mother. Her mother, Tyler Thomas's mother, her name is actually LaTanya Thomas. And let me see. Because she made a statement this morning. Let me just go to it. LaTanya Thomas. Okay. I'm just pulling up my other computer over here. But she made a statement this morning, and what she said was, actually, she made the statement 7 hours ago. So from the time it is 1 o'clock now, she must have made the statement around, you know, this morning when she was on her way to court again, because court is from 8 to 5. Monday through Friday. Except for they got out early the other day because one of the jury members, they had a sick relative or something had happened in their family, so the judge allowed them to release themselves early, so cut short. Court was cut short the other day. But this is what LaTanya Thomas, Tyler Thomas' mother, had to say this morning. She said, "Truly, God has brought us through this past week. I thank him. I can't put into words how much I appreciate my community for their love, prayers, and support. Thank you so much for raising funds for us," because again, the community, we was posting her Cash App on our Facebook pages. I was posting it on the Hood Table, on Tanya's Primetime TV, and they managed to raise thousands of dollars for them to not have to travel back and forth from Beatrice, Nebraska, back here to our hometown, Omaha, every day, back and forth for the court trial. So she said, "Thank you so much for raising funds for us when you all didn't have to do anything. You did. I am asking God to please bless each and every one of you who thought about us throughout the years, who said prayers for us, to whomever that smiled to let us know that they are here for us, and everyone who wants justice for Tyler. Not having to stress over where we are going to stay or how we are going to get to court has been such a wonderful blessing. This is not something anyone ever hopes to have to go through, but I am so overly pleased and taken aback with all of you who are making our fight your fight. This is all about Ty. Justice for Ty. Ty's mother, LaTanya Thomas, said, thank you. Thank you from Tyler's family. We love you all. And let's get my baby justice. I kind of feel like that's our baby. I know that's LaTanya Thomas's baby and, their family, but the community, we've been going through this with them for 10 years. So I kind of feel like that is our baby, and we want justice for our baby, for Tyler Thomas. So again, that is the most current information that we got so far. Now, one other thing that I had mentioned before was when Tyler was missing, there was rumors that she was getting married, that she was engaged, that she was pregnant, and some people try to speculate that maybe she was stressed out and probably wanted to commit suicide and things like that. Now, the guy, Nick Scalise, he was a friend of Tyler Thomas's, and they talked. They you know how it is, a situationship, but apparently never really dated. But he claims that the defense has alluded that Scalise dated Thomas and that they may have been engaged at one point before she went missing. But he said, we talked, we hung out, but we really weren't in no relationship, and we definitely weren't dating. So there goes that assumption. Also, let's see. Okay, here it is. When I was talking about the Missouri River and about the canine unit not being able to pick up her scent, what they said was it is not uncommon for a person to have been at a spot and a canine not be able to pick up their scent. The man, Jim Peters, who helped organize such efforts, the K9 unit, to try to find Tyler Thomas' body at the Missouri River, along with their K9, said they did not find her scent, but that can be impacted, as I said before, that can be impacted by the time a person is down by the river, like the temperature, the wind, things like that. And also, as far as one second. Here it is right here. Let's see. Keadle. Okay. Oh, yeah. We already went over that part. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. I think I went through everything that I wanted to go through. So with that being said, tomorrow, again, I'm going to be down at the courthouse. We're going to drive back down to Beatrice, Nebraska. We're going to sit down there for a whole day of court again. We're going to listen to some more testimonies. I'm going to take some notes, and I'll come back and do another update. Most likely it'll be Friday evening, because Thursday evening we're doing an interview, or I won't say it's not really like an interview. It's more like, we're going to talk politics, and we're going to have a special guest on our show. She's from Omaha, Nebraska, where I live, and she's involved in politics. She's involved in the Black Caucus. Her name is Precious McKesson. And Precious McKesson, let me pull up my information here. Okay, Precious McKesson, she's with the NDP constituency director and Black Caucus chair. That is who we're going to have on our show tomorrow. And we're going to be discussing early voting process. We're going to be discussing how felons can change their status to vote again after they've been released from jail, the procedure that they have to go through. We're going to talk about local and federal offices, different people who are running. We're going to talk about also, how to get more people in our community to vote, to get out there and vote. So, and other things. We'll be discussing other things. So that is tomorrow night. So after court tomorrow, of sitting through the murder trial and taking notes and supporting the family and all that, I'm going to come back. We're going to drive back to Omaha, and and I'm going to get ready immediately for our online show, which will be live with Precious McKinson. And that's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So again, if you don't have the notification bell set on our channel, you hit subscribe and hit the notification button so that you can receive our notifications every time we go live. So with that being said, everybody, thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much. Thank you for your prayers and support for Omaha and our community and for the family. And that's why, Kimberly, Tyler Thomas's brother, Latavius Thomas's son, he had thanked me the first day that I went to sit in with trial to support them. And he was like, you know, this is a 10-year-old story. 10 years ago, it was, you know, well known. The story was well known because it had just happened. But as the years have went past, a lot of people, you know, it's like with a lot of other crimes, a lot of other unsolved cases. When people aren't really talking about it and advocating for that victim, then people forget. So he had thanked me for bringing the story back up and talking about the story over the last few months. And last part of last year, I had did a story on it last year as well. So he thanked me for keeping his sister's name out there. And, you know, it's necessary. It's really, really necessary, especially in this situation where we have firm belief. A lot of people believe that Joshua Keadle is responsible for Tyler Thomas's, aka Ty's, murder. You said, are you going to be covering anything on Black history for Omaha? You know, I might. Normally when we do our interviews and our nightly interviews or our nightly shows or our weekly interviews, it's with myself and my co-host Carmel Diva. Now, I normally do like TV show reviews, documentary reviews, YouTube reviews. I do a lot of things on my own, but as far as like the interviews and things like that and our actual shows, I do that with my co-host Carmel Diva. So she also sends me certain things to discuss on certain shows, and also people who, you know, are just supporters and subscribers, they send me topics to discuss as well. Some topics I have like I have sources here, inside sources here in Omaha who send me stories and send me detailed information on things. And, you know, sometimes when we do shows and I do commentary on certain things, it's from stuff somebody else has sent me. So I'm going to talk to my co-host and I'll see, you know, what all we're going to do for this month. There's so many people that we have lined up to interview. And I don't know if you guys heard me say this before. Okay, let me just say this. If y'all don't follow me on Twitter and Facebook, please follow me. Because although I upload videos and I go live on YouTube, a lot of the information about things that we have going on or things we'll be discussing or shows or interviews coming up, I post all that on Facebook and Twitter, and we're on IG too. So look up The Hood Table on Facebook, Twitter, and IG, and follow us on those platforms, because that's where you'll get like you'll get insight on what's to come on The Hood Table on YouTube. So please make sure you're following us over there. And people who have topics that they would like me to discuss on the show, they usually inbox me on Facebook or IG. They inbox me. They'll send me like clips of things or stories or detailed information, and we discuss it on The Hood Table. So, so yeah, make sure you follow us on all of our platforms, And you said the reason why I asked is because my father, who passed away, was the first African-American to hold a position at Union Pacific. Oh, wow. So you're familiar with the UP from Omaha. Yes, the Union Pacific, boy. That was one of them jobs that people would break their necks to get on with UP. That was a job that had great benefits. the union. I mean, a lot of people. A lot of people here in Omaha worked at UP and worked there for some years and retired there. So it's a lot of companies in Omaha, Nebraska. That's why back in the day, a lot of people moved from down south to Omaha, Nebraska. A lot of people didn't know what Omaha, Nebraska was, where Omaha, Nebraska was. All they know is cornfields and a Nebraska football team called the Corn Huskers. And they think it's just one big old state just full of corn and wheat and barley and cows and pigs. Even to this day in 2020, people will ask me, "Oh, you from Nebraska, Omaha? Is there black people in Omaha?" I'm like, "Come on, child. It's 2020. We've been here since the 1900s." The early 1900s, the late 1800s. Yes, black people that live in Omaha, Nebraska. But anyway, yes. So, yeah, with that being said, make sure you follow us on all IG, Facebook, Twitter. Thank you so much for tuning in to this lunchtime chit chat, this update on the State versus Joshua Keadle, Tyler Ty Thomas murder trial. And again, I'll be back on here tomorrow night. We're going to be discussing politics tomorrow night. And Friday, I'll be discussing the Keadle trial again after we come from court. You said Union Pacific has a scholarship in his name. Oh, wow, that is wonderful. So did you used to stay here in Omaha, or do you still stay here in Omaha, Kimberly Black? I don't know if you're Omaha native or if you're watching from a different location. Your name sounds familiar, Kimberly Black. Oh, you're welcome for the commentary. I'm just waiting to see what you what your response is to my question before I let you guys go. Oh yeah, you guys, don't forget to like the video, share the video. You said you was born there, but you live in Houston. Okay, so you was born here and live in Houston. Okay, I was gonna say, if you live here, maybe we can hook up some time for some tea, for some coffee. It happens a lot when I'm out and about. It's strange. I'm still getting used to it, and I'm not no humongous YouTuber. You know, I'm not famous or anything like that, but I'm still getting used to when people see me out. And what was that? Last week, somebody saw me, and I was on a scene somewhere recording something, and I was like, "I'm Tanya." And they was like, before I could even barely finish, she was like, "Oh, you're the YouTuber. You're on YouTube." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." But yeah, I hear that a lot. And I have 2 other YouTube channels for those of y'all who don't know. So people also see me out and about, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're the cake decorator," because I'm a custom professional custom cake decorator. So they'll be like, "Oh, you're Tanya from Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. Would you like a card?" But yeah, so if y'all don't follow me on my other platforms, feel free if you like. I have 2 other platforms, Tanya's Delights Slice by Slice for my cake decorating business. I do record live cake decorating on my YouTube channel on Tanya's Delights, and also Tanya's Primetime TV media reviews. So with that being said, let me get up off of here because my lunch break is almost over and I still got to get me something to snack on before I get back to work. So like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you if you're not already subscribed, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I do have, oh, y'all probably can't see. Let me put the screen down a little. Y'all see Black Girls Rock on my shirt? See my shirt? Yeah. Yeah, we do. Black Girls Rock. I just had to hurt my shirt. I've been wearing my shirt. Let's see, today is the 5th. I think I done wore it already twice this month for Black History Month. But yeah, so anywho, you guys, I will holler at you guys later. You guys, please stay safe, be blessed. I'm out. Deuces. Yes, Black Girls Rock, Kimberly. I'll holla.